The content on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. Please contact a professional when it comes to your financial needs. Prioritizing your spending, isolating those things that you actually want versus what you actually need. I'm going to show you my own example of how to use Google Sheets and how to create a readable budget based on your salary, your wages, whatever you got coming in, and then set it up in a spreadsheet so that every time you get a check, it automatically deducts those costs that you got racking up every month. We're just going to keep it simple to the things that we don't need on this one, but you can add whatever you want. And we're going to do that right here, right now on the Ujamaa Network. Let's get to it. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a lot of streaming services that you're using. I watch a lot of TV, and this is one of my biggest guilty pleasures. But it does get expensive, and you can look at this to see how much of your income are going to these entertainment services. You really need to start paying particular attention and keeping track of that kind of spending if your goal is to generate generational wealth and to start saving for hopefully a down payment on a home or a vehicle, whatever you're going to try to do with your money. But let's get started. Um, Anytime you start a spreadsheet, I like to go midway through, like on a D column, because I know what I'm going to name some of these things. But let's just start here on this column here, and we're going to put in right above it your wages, or you can name it income, whatever. And this will be your wages column. Go ahead and put in a random number. Now, for you would want to use the number that comes in on your check stub, your net pay. I like to put in my net pay on these things because that's after tax, right? After your deductions and what you're actually able to spend on so you can keep an accurate count of what's in your account. Now, many bank accounts already do this for you, but when you have that visual representation of what you're actually spending on, it makes it easier for you to make those kind of cuts. So, for now, as a source, we're just going to peg that at around $3,000. All right. Now, right here, I'm going to put in entertainment. If I spelled that right. Cool. Let's do my favorite, Netflix. And what am I actually spending on Netflix? Let's go and find out if you don't know. Netflix is like 17 bucks. Now you can find that out on your pay stubs, obviously, but let's go ahead and do. Um, let's just log into Netflix, and I'll go to my account, and what is my membership? My payment history. I'm paying $17.99 per month. I may have to start revisiting that because Netflix has gone up, as you can see, in the last year from 15.99, 15.50 up to almost $18 or $18 now. That's a considerable jump. I'm just going to put that in there, 17.99. Already, I'm a little ticked off. Okay. Now, right here, I'm going to start putting totals. This is going to be your formula. This will equal this minus all of your sums. This. And enter. I'm going to put this sum here as another formula equals the sum, SUM, of this and all of this, and enter. All right. This is going to give you a running total of all of your spending that's coming out from these totals. So as we start adding in more uh, deductions, it's going to automatically affect that here, tell you what you have left out of your wages and what you got going on here with your running total, what you're actually spending on these services, anything you put in here. Simple enough, right? Let's keep it going. But like I said, I'm already ticked off. So I just added all of my services. I'm one of those few people who actually pay for these services and instead of bootlegging them. I know that these streaming services have instituted a lot more controls over people who share their networking or their streaming accounts. But really, um, I never thought of it like this until I started seeing these numbers. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Because when you add up all these separate services, you might want to start rethinking your habits. Even if you got sufficient income coming in to handle an entertainment budget like this, it gets expensive. And I'm going to show you what I mean. This is a good way to get your budgets in order. So, what I'm spending on entertainment alone so far is looking like $102 every month, and that's because Netflix is $17.99 currently. I have a Disney Plus account that's $20 a month. I've got Amazon Prime, and that doesn't include any of the extra channels I'm paying like $2 and $3 subscriptions for, or my Prime Music. I'm doing all of these things. I haven't even put the music in here, so that's going to be another $5. So I could jack that up and just keep a item line free, but I want to see the actual dollar amount, right? Paramount Plus. Only a few shows that I watch on it, but I just like having it. And I don't know what it is about not wanting to let go of these services, but I think that's how these companies operate. They know there's going to be a time where you're just not watching this much TV, but they also know human nature. I don't like to let go of anything. I'm almost like a pack rat when it comes to these services. Now, through Paramount Plus, I have my NFL Plus, which is actually $15 a month. I'm going to keep that because I'm a big football fan. I'm paying $13, actually $14 a month for YouTube. That's the premium service, so I don't get the commercials. I've got the basic membership for Crunchyroll. Me and my son are big anime fans, and we're looking at $102 a month just in streaming services. This is abominable for anybody trying to build generational wealth. Some changes are going to have to be made. You see what it does to my monthly income, if that's my monthly income. I'm just using this as a figure, but actually, these are real numbers. I'm going to also put this in the currency format. So just click on this column header right here and just hit currency, and you'll get that. Simple, easy peasy, and that's that. You can keep going on. So if this is your entertainment, wait till you start adding your actual bills, like your electric bill, your cable bill, your cell phone bill. If you have a car note, if you're paying child support, your mortgage or your rent, it's going to affect you tremendously. Now that $100 may not seem like a whole lot, but if you are investing that $100 a month instead of watching TV like I am, you might be increasing your chances, but sacrifices are going to have to be made. Another thing this is drawing attention to is how many streaming services do you actually have? I know I have a Sirius XM account because I listen to it on my Alexa devices. However, I didn't put it in my list. How many of those little $5 and $6 amounts are coming out of your check every month and you are barely using it and you just don't want to let it go? So there's gonna come a time when you get real serious about your investment and financial future where you start making some some choices. Yeah, you don't have that peace of mind, I guess. I don't know what it is, what that actual feeling is when you have these services and you're not really using it. I mean, you just take a look at your bank statements at the end of the month and you're wondering why you're constantly falling off of your goals. Well, this is why. Some discipline, some financial discipline is going to need to take place here. And I've got some tough choices to make. I'm going to keep adding things to it as they come to mind or as I'm looking at my bank statement, because ultimately I'm shifting so much currency out of my primary account into my spending cards. I don't even keep separate bank accounts anymore. Well, actually, I do, but I use like third party cards to do all my purchasing with. All of my subscriptions are handled like a with a Cash App card or PayPal card or Zelle. That way, if anything hokey goes on with any of my purchases, it's only going to get the information from my uh, Cash App account and not my primary account where I'm depositing all of my funds. It's kind of a security feature that I think people should kind of explore to make sure that you have less and less access to where your primary funds are going to be stored at for your day to day existence. So make sure you're keeping that secret. But again, as you get these visuals, it's kind of making me sick, really, by looking at how much money I'm spending on just TV. Yeah, I watch a lot of TV. I don't like missing anything. But at the same time, $100, oh, when I was going through my worst, that would have been like, that would have been like a gold mine. I'm thinking about it now. Just because you're earning a little bit more money, do you necessarily have to spend a little bit more money? I don't think so. Like I'm content where I'm at right now. I'll be just cutting these some of these accounts just because I can. Um, I've gotten most of my bills together. You got to prioritize what you got going on. That's good. That's a good part way to a lower car note by the time you add this stuff off. Just think about that for a second. If I cut all these accounts, that's $100 less I'd have to devote towards entertainment that I could devote towards my car note if I wanted to get another car. You know, Cell phone bill. I'm doing budget, but hey, these things add up. Go ahead, check it out for yourself. Put these practices into play. Let me know what you think. I'm going to keep working at my own. And I want to see what you guys think about creating a spreadsheet with just a simple formula, two simple formulas. All we're doing is adding, subtracting. There was that one sum command where we summed up everything, all of the bills, and then subtracted that from your monthly wages. And just plug in your wages, and you'll see how much of your check is left versus how much you're spending and just those few services. All right, I'll talk to you later.